I take a quick break. Happy Friday to everyone that is under the sound of my voice. Thank you so much for listening, for joining, for liking and subscribing. I appreciate you so much. Happy Friday, y'all. We done made it. It's the end of the week and the last day. So, hey, it's on you. What you gonna do? If you know that reference, you need to go ahead and like and subscribe right now. Shout out to the Ryan King, aka Ryan Cameron, with the Friday song. If you know, you know. If you're from the A or you've been living in the A for a while, you know what it is. Anyway, let me get my quick little intro. Okay. This live is for, it's not necessarily for entertainment purposes. This live is for the purpose of making you think about things. Your actions, your words, your being. Okay? My channel is focused on positivity, elevation, and the glow up. Okay? The glow up, the grow up, all that good stuff. We focus on positivity over here. So keep it positive, peaceful, and enjoyable in the chat, please. And thank you. I will not be in the chat because I am in an Uber right now trying to get to work. If you've never been here before, my name is Jen. I am a single mom of 2 amazing young men. I'm a hairstylist. I've been in the beauty industry for 21 years now, and I'm rebranding my life. I have completely changed the way I did business. I went from a corporate salon entity to now an entrepreneurship. I am building a brand, and I am leveling up my life, as should you. No matter what phase of life you are in, you should always be trying to level up to the next thing. God definitely said exceedingly abundantly above everything you could ever ask for. So why not go after it? It's there for you. Shout out to Donna Lawrence, who had a song years ago where he said, go get your inheritance. The blessings of Abraham. Okay? Go listen to that song if you never have. I definitely did years ago when I was going through, and it definitely helped me have faith that possibilities, opportunities are endless. All right, so I want to switch up topics today. All week, we've been talking about energy. We've been talking about protecting your peace. We've been talking about how the world is changing, how they cut off CERN 2012. They just cut it off again. And maybe, possibly, who knows? I know I definitely feel some sort of energy shift. Okay, if you are feeling the same, I am not somebody that is in charge of her gifts. I'll say I'm still working on that. I'm still on my own spiritual journey. I am a believer in God, most definitely, but I do not subscribe to organized religion. But I do believe that you need to be in tune with what's going on around you. Okay. And you need to listen to the cues and pay attention to signs and things, because a lot of times they will give you the life lessons that you've been searching for and lead you where you need to go. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome in. Please go ahead and like the live and subscribe to my channel. I'm just a rising YouTuber who's trying to get there and make something shake for my household. Okay, so I just touched on opportunities. So let's use someone who is extremely wealthy, business-minded, intelligent, successful, okay? I'm going to use Miss Rihanna, Miss Riri herself, okay? Bad girl Riri. Miss Fenty. She's a billionaire, right? Okay. So what's the difference between you and Rihanna? Okay, yeah, she got $1 billion and maybe you don't. She got several houses and maybe you don't, you know. But the one thing that you have in common with Rihanna is you got the same 7 days and 24 hours. Now, She may have a staff. May have more money. She may be able to get to said opportunities at this point in her life a little bit easier than you can. Maybe they're a little bit more accessible to her, okay? But at some point, she had to put the grind in. She had to put the work in. And she's definitely been through it. From, the issues in the media about her past relationships and things being scrutinized. People picking on her when she first came out. I won't get into all the conspiracy theories and whatever. But I'm just talking about what are the basic things that make you or make us like someone who's more successful. The one thing that we all have in common is those same 24 hours and 7 days a week. What are you doing with them? Because here's the thing. If you want something bad enough, you're going to go after it with every fiber of your being. But if you just sit there and say, well, I want to do such and such, and you keep talking about it, 5 years will be passed by and nothing happens. And I say that from experience. There's so many things that I talked about in my 20s that now, I'm almost 50 now, I'm 46, going to be 47 this year, that I look back like, dang, why didn't I do that? We all have those things, right? So, first you got the opportunity. You got the same 24 hours, 7 days a week. Then, you got to look at the reason, why didn't you go after it? Was it fear? Was it self-doubt? Was it maybe you were ignorant of how to get there? Maybe you need to get some training. Maybe you need some certification. I don't know. But the thing is, the two things that we have in common, those people have faith. Maybe I don't know who anybody believes in, but they have faith and belief that what they're going after is attainable. Think about that now. A billionaire and y'all have the same thing, faith. And I might cut out for a second. If I do, give me a minute, because we're going through a dead zone. I am on my way to work right now, actually. But those two things, faith in being able to get there, okay, and the same amount of time. Those are the two things that make you just like your favorite movie star, your favorite fashion designer, your favorite musician, whoever it is. Because everybody, and I won't use the word idolize, because I don't idolize nobody but God, okay? But whoever you look up to, maybe you admire them. That's a better word. You admire that person. The person you admire, you got so much in common with them, you don't even realize. The person that you look to like, oh man, that's my mentor, you got so much in common with them. The difference between you and them, because I've given you the similarities, you see a lot of the things, the outfits, the bags, the lifestyle. But you did see some of the work. Did we really go behind the scenes? And maybe that idea didn't work. And then you start to doubt yourself, like, well, maybe I shouldn't do this. Fenty did not happen overnight, and it didn't just fall into her lap. If you really know her story, she was mixing foundations so that she could match her skin tone. And it came to her, every time I get my makeup done for a show, I gotta mix foundations. Let me come up with my own, thing, so I don't have to keep doing this. She found a niche. She filled in the gap, and now she's a billionaire. That sounds really, really easy the way I said it. It's so much more to think about. All the scandals behind things. Think about the press behind things. Think about launching a $1 billion company. That's a lot of pressure behind the scenes. So we had to really start thinking about, in our opportunities, how do we get there? So for me, I'm an entrepreneur now. I'm a hairstylist. I want a certain lifestyle and a certain sense of freedom. But for me to have that sense of freedom, I got to put the work in now. And then as it starts to pay off, I can chill out. But right now, it's grind time. I'm supposed to be on a family trip. I'm supposed to be, with my family and going to a family reunion. I wasn't able to have kids because I can't afford it. So, yeah, it bummed me out. It made me kind of depressed for a day. I have not been back to my hometown, Chicago, in a long time, and that's take my children. It really made me depressed. But the next day, I got myself together and I said, all right, that was a missed opportunity. If you don't want to miss the next one, what you gonna do about it? You got to grind harder so that you can have the money to do the things that you want to do. So sometimes that means getting up at 5 a.m. Sometimes it means not going to sleep. Sometimes that means, scrolling and getting ideas and whatever else off of YouTube and the internet. Writing things down, journaling at 2 a.m. I'm definitely on that mode. I probably get about 4 hours of sleep a night. And I've been doing that now for about, I think there's only been like 1 or 2 nights that I've even come close to 8 hours. I've been doing that now for about 3 months. It's rough out here. But I know I want a certain level of life, a certain level of, I don't want to use the word luxury because I'm not a luxury girl. But I want a certain lifestyle for my children and I. So for me to have that, I got to grind it out. So that means my back going to be hurting from standing up doing hair. My legs and feet are going to be hurting. Oh, by the way, y'all please go run up those mini vlogs. I worked really hard on them. They're only like 5 minutes. I would really appreciate if you go watch them. Please and thank you. I would like to start doing longer form content. I want to start doing travel content when I am able to travel with my kids. I want to take y'all with me. I'm on a weight loss journey. It's so much stuff that I'm on. So I really just please go check out the last 2 vlogs. I'm trying to stay consistent. And y'all really motivate me to stay consistent when you watch. Because that's like, oh wow. Also lets me know. You can put down in the comments, hey, I like this part. Or that part was boring. I don't know. Be nice, but be honest. Anyway, like I said, I'm just a small YouTuber trying to make something shake for me and my kids. But yeah, we all have opportunities. We all have drive. It just depends on what you're doing with it. There's so much out there for us to attain. And I don't just mean things as in Chanel bags and nice cars. There's so much life for you to live while you are here. And I think we get so caught up in our little bubble or caught up of trying to stay with the trends. We really forget to search ourselves and find out, hey, what opportunities do I want to chase after so I can change my life? What opportunities, what dreams do I have that are really, planted in me that can get me where I want to go? I know for a fact that I was born to be a hairdresser. Did I know that when I was growing up? You couldn't have told me when I was a kid I was going to be a hairdresser. But I always was in somebody's head. I remember being a little kid and sitting on a chair, and my grandmama, Big Mama, would be like, hey baby, I need you to scratch out and oil my head. And I couldn't have been more than like between 7 and 9 years old. And she's like, hey baby, come scratch out Big Mama head. And I'm like, sure, because loved her. You know what I'm saying? Would have moved mountains for her. So it's like, scratch out your head? Sure, Grandma, I got you. And I love doing that. That's one of my favorite memories of her. I remember washing my dad's hair. My dad had a job where he would get, it was a blue collar job where he would get kind of dirty. Anyway, particles and stuff would get in his hair, even with wearing protective gear. And it would make his scalp itch, right? It was like dusty and stuff. So he would come home and he's like, hey, baby girl, can you wash daddy's hair? And he would be over like the kitchen sink or the bathroom sink, and I would have to like kneel on a chair or like stand on the stool to reach over him to, shampoo his hair. But those were my first clients. I didn't know it, but a seed was being planted. A lady who is actually, she was a cousin by marriage. And she used to do a lot of our family's hair back in Chicago. So anyway, I used to watch her for hours doing hair. Watching her do my mom's hair and some of our cousins. And she had a little parlor room with about 5 chairs. And I just used to watch her do stuff. And it was so cool. And I don't know if I picked it up from watching her with those Marcells and doing a wrap on somebody's head. If you know, you know. If you have a certain age, you know what I'm talking about. But doing those freeze curls with that Marcel, wrapping the hair, and just everybody's hair coming out nice and healthy and beautiful. Baby, there was not a head that came out of that shop. If you had a bob, you better believe that your bob was bobbing, okay? She gave me my first ever short haircut. I had a little mushroom haircut. I probably was about 16. And my silly self had flat ironed my little natural hair to death. So I decided to go back and get a relaxer, and I had a little mushroom. Think Halle Berry and Toni Braxton in the 90s, okay? You couldn't have told me nothing about my hair, okay? So I remember in watching her, I started kind of picking up on stuff. So in my little hustler mind, as a 15, 16-year-old, I had a little part-time job. And I started thinking to myself, hey, I see how she's flat ironing that hair. I see how she's wrapping it. I see how she's doing X, Y, Z. So I would go to her to get my relaxers or whatever, but I would try to like stretch out how long I would, be going in between visits to the salon. So it was crazy because after a while, she was like, girl, who been doing your hair? And I said, me? Because she was suspicious. You know how hairstylists are. When we love somebody, especially when they family and they go somewhere else, we get a little territorial. Just saying. So we'd be like, wait a minute, who been in your head? Because we don't really like it when our family goes to somebody else and then they come back to us. It's like a betrayal, So she looked at me kind of, accusatory, like, who been doing your hair? And my mama was like, she been doing her own hair. And I'll never forget, she looked me in the eye and she said, you need to go ahead and go to beauty school. And I kind of laughed and shrugged it off. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not, I'm not a hairstylist. I was very much insecure in high school. I wore glasses. I had braces. I was 5'9.5". I was taller than everybody else. So I didn't have any self-confidence whatsoever. And so in her saying that, I kind of laughed it off. Well, fast forward 10 years later, guess who got their master cosmetology license? Matter of fact, guess who went and got their nail tech license and then went back to school and got their master cosmetology license? So at one time I had 2 different licenses. Now I just have one because the master encompasses the nails. But my mom called her in Chicago and said, guess who has their license? And she was so tickled. She thought it was so funny because she spoke that over me 10 years prior. So sometimes things are on you, in you, and it takes somebody else to see it. But once they do, pay attention. Because maybe they see something that you don't. Maybe they see that opportunity that you've been looking for to take you to the next level that you never even thought of. And they're trying to draw your attention to it. They're trying to make you aware of it because they see that you have certain talents. So many times people would tell us, oh, you should be doing X, Y, Z. You're really good at it. And what do? We shrug our shoulders and we say, oh man, nah, I ain't gonna do that. Why not? Unless it's something that's detrimental to your life, why not? Why not chase that opportunity? Right now is like I'm trying to alchemize everything, okay? I'm trying to change all the negative energy into positive. That is one of the reasons why my channel is the way that it is. I don't like to swear on my channel. Do I swear in real life sometimes? Yes, I do. I don't want to put that image out there because I have friends, family, and all that are on my page, okay? So I try to limit that. I don't there's certain parts of my life that I don't share on social media, okay? But I try to always, no matter where I'm at, what I'm doing, whether I'm on or off of social media, to be positive. And it's not easy. It's not like I'm just walking around with a stupid smile on my face. I am really trying to elevate. Anyway, y'all, I'll talk to you later. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you have an amazing Friday on purpose. Everybody that is under the sound of my voice, please be safe out there. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll be back at it tomorrow morning. Maybe this evening. I'm not quite sure. All right. Peace and blessings.